Hi folks, welcome again to the channel. Juan here from Physical Media EU. Today we have another review, in this case the soundtrack of Nosferatu. Hello again and thanks for tuning in for another review. As I was saying, today we're going to review the soundtrack on vinyl for Nosferatu. But before we start, I would like to invite you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, if you're interested in physical media, especially Blu-ray reviews, and also like today, soundtracks on vinyl. Besides that, you can also find me on Instagram, which has the same handle, Physical Media EU, where I post little pictures of all the items that I review. And with that said, we can begin with the presentation of the vinyl. This is one of the variants. We'll talk about the others in a little bit. You can see here is a double record. You see the list for each of them. And now if we open, we find this still from the movie. And now if we take a look at the records, let me get the first one here. They come in these custom sleeves, which look great, by the way. And now let's take a look at the first of the records. In this case is the Oxblood variant, so a very intense red, kind of like blood color, of course. The same on the other side. The other record is just like this one. So if you want to see the label there more in detail, there you go. And here is the other one with Willem Dafoe here. And on the other side, a list of all the musicians that participated in this score. By the way, the score was composed by Robin Carolan, who have worked before with Robert Eggers in his previous movie, The Northman. In the case of The Northman, were actually two composers, Robin Carolan and Sebastian Gainsborough, if I'm not wrong. But in this case, it's just Robin Carolan. Here is the other record, so exactly the same as the other. They are 180 grams, so they feel very sturdy and stable. And in general, all the production quality of the release is very high. The label behind this was Sacred Bones, who also, by the way, was the label behind the release for the Northman soundtrack on vinyl and also The Lighthouse. And there's one more thing to show from this release. It comes with this, I guess, some sort of poster. You can see there more in detail. There is cut in this shape down here, but what is very cool is that it's also printed on the back. Of course, it doesn't say anything, but just like has the tone of the paper as it was a real one, right? Which I think is a very nice touch instead of being just white on the back. So the release is very high quality. The only downside maybe is that it's very easy to get fingerprints on this, so need to be a little careful when manipulating, but at the same time it's also easy to clean. And of course, I like to keep my records on sleeves, so there's no any issues when I'm just browsing them. Now, a little bit about the movie, in case you're wondering about it. Nosferatu is directed by Robert Eggers, and it's his fourth movie. The previous three were The Witch, The Lighthouse, and The Northman. This one just released on Christmas 2024. I haven't had the chance yet to watch it, but I think I'm going to the IMAX the other weekend, so hopefully I can do that. But I'm very happy that I got my hands on the vinyl record already. An interesting thing to mention was that on some digital platforms, for example Apple Music and also Tidal, this soundtrack was available, probably is still available, on Dolby Atmos. So if you have one of those services, I recommend giving it a try also on digital, because with Dolby Atmos you get the 3D sound effect, which must be very interesting to try. I don't have them, so I couldn't do it yet. And since we are doing this review, I would like also to show the records for his other films. So here is the one for The Lighthouse. This is the golden variant, liquid gold variant or something like that it's called. Looks super good. This is a very nice variant, I think. Next one is The Northman, which also was released by Sacred Bones. Here you can see the back, and also this is like a super high quality record, like everything, the sleeves and everything is done super good. They are not cheap, of course, but you get a very good product in return. And lastly, here's the one for The Witch. This one was released by Milan Records instead, not Sacred Bones. Here is the back. And actually, all of these are some limited variants. All of them are color vinyl. When possible, I like to get my vinyls in some color variant. So it's very cool that they are doing this with the Robert Egger releases. And one last thing to mention here about Nosferatu is that there were other variants with different covers. So you can see the pictures up here. Some of those were very limited, so it might be very hard to find now unless you go to some marketplace like Discogs, for example. But if not, this version is not that hard to get in this color variant that looks super good. My recommendation is, if you like Robert Eggers and you're a soundtrack collector, this is definitely a very good release to own. It's not cheap, but you get a very good product in return. 180 grams record, color vinyl, 2 records, custom sleeves, and even that poster that I showed before. So I'm very happy with it. And that's all for the review. I hope you liked it. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel. Also remember to check on Instagram for photos of this record and previous reviews. And I would love to hear on the comments if you have already watched Nosferatu, what do you think of it? Please spoiler free. And also if you have watched the previous films from Robert Eggers. Thank you so much for watching, and see you all at Okie Dogs.